Hello and welcome back to my channel if you've been around here before, or welcome if this is the first time that you've been here. I have not really been using this channel much. I haven't really been doing vlogs much or commentary or really anything. I've been trying a couple of different things just to kind of see what worked for me, what worked for you guys. And so I think I found something that I at least will be happy with, so hopefully that'll make you guys happy as well. Very sorry if you can hear a train going by. I live by a train line. It's gonna happen. I'm sorry. What I want to do today is to explain a little bit about the project that I'm undertaking, and I want to talk very briefly about the book deal, but I'm probably going to do a separate video on that specifically. And then I also want to talk a little bit more about what that means for this channel and what I'm going to be doing with this channel going forward. So if that sounds good to you, let's get going. So the cosplay project used to be known as Playing With Myself. I thought it was a very witty title. It was a really good way of getting attention. Not the best SEO, I will be honest. Not the best way of getting people to immediately recognize what I'm doing. But it was kind of fun. It was a really fun project title at the beginning. It is no longer the project title. Now it's just cosplay, or cosplay and the dressing of identity. So I am an anthropologist by trade. I have a PhD in the anthropology of religion, and I wanted for a really long time to do a research project on cosplay. And I tried to do it with universities, but since becoming a freelance academic, I came to realize that I can just do what I want, and I don't have to try to prove to some university board that this stuff is important. I know it's important, and I know that it's important to the cosplayers that I've been speaking to, and that's enough for me. So what I'm going to be doing is a detailed anthropological study of cosplay. I am talking to cosplayers and I am researching it. I'm interested in a whole lot of different aspects of it. I'm interested in the performance of it. I'm interested in the connection to story. I'm interested in issues in the community like racism and homophobia and transphobia. I'm interested in the way that people utilize their body. I'm interested in so many different facets of cosplay, and the more that I dig into it, the more things that I find that are fascinating. So that's essentially what the book is going to be about, is this really deep dive into the community of cosplay, all from the perspective of anthropology and anthropological fieldwork from me. And underlying basically all of this is the fact that in my research and the way that I approach the study of popular culture and the study of storytelling in general is that I firmly believe that popular culture, all of our popular culture narratives, are basically just our contemporary mythology. We connect to them the same way that we think of as people of connecting to mythology back in the day. So that's essentially what I'm doing. And so for me, cosplay is a part of that. It's a very important part of that, of connection to and relationship to and performance of the myths that we love so much. So that's the project in a nutshell. I have a bit more information on my website. I'll link down. If you're interested in participating, if you're watching this and you're a cosplayer and you want to get your voice heard as well, you can sign up for interviews down there as well on the website. So go check that out. So how am I conducting the research that is involved in this? Well, I am talking to cosplayers. That's the biggest thing. Obviously, as much as I could do things myself, or I could read loads of other people talking about it, or I could read things that cosplayers are producing, like the Cosplay Journal, or to look at Instagram, or to hang out at cons, whatever it is that I'm doing, I'm not going to get really at the soul of it and really what it's all about, or why it's important to cosplayers until I actually, talk to cosplayers. So cosplayers and talking to cosplayers are the biggest part of this research project. I have already done some of this. Again, I will talk a little bit more about the fieldwork and the people that I've talked to and how that's progressing, maybe in a different video if that's something that you're interested in. But the other thing that I'm doing is I am doing cosplay. So that's a thing. It's what we like to call in anthropology participant observation. So it's not only the fact that we observe things and we talk to people, but we also have to participate. We have to kind of do it. We have to try to understand those aspects of life that go unspoken or that are difficult to explain with words. And so I have cosplayed, and I've got a cosplay, and I can talk about it if you want, but that's part of what I'm doing as well. And of course, everything that I am finding, everything that I'm doing, I am backing up with anthropological research. Basically what other people are saying with other studies that have been done, basically the way that I would do it if I was getting it published for an academic book, but I'm just writing it better and in easier to understand ways. And not for an academic press, but I'm still doing all of the same rigor behind it, all of the same research behind it. So that's the project. That's what it is, and that's how it is, and how I'm doing it, and what I'm interested in, which I think hasn't really been narrowed down much more than just cosplay, but that's kind of what it is. I'm interested in cosplay. But at the root of it, what I'm really interested in is cosplay and the relationship that cosplay has to story and to the stories that we love so much that exist all around us every day. So I got a book deal with it. Isn't that great? I got a book deal. I spent a bit of time kind of crafting the proposal, sending it out to loads of people, and it has been accepted and is currently under contract with Reaction Books. What that means is I've got to start writing. I've got to start doing it. I've got to start finishing up the fieldwork, really hitting it hard, and then writing it and doing all of the stuff that I need to be doing in order to do all the stuff that I just sat and explained to you. And as much as I can talk about academic rigor and stuff behind it, normally, say for like my PhD, or if I was doing this as a postdoc, I would have like 3 or 4 years to do this. I don't have that amount of time. I have like 1.5 to 2 years. I mean, I have done work before the book deal, so I'm not like completely, starting fresh, but I'm having to hit it a lot harder. The reason why I didn't do as much prior to the book deal is publishers often have a lot of say and sway over how they want the book to progress. So the publisher might have said, actually, you said this thing or that thing, or you're interested in these topics, and I don't want you to be interested in this topic. I want you to be interested in these topics, or I want you to make the whole book about this, or whatever it was. And I didn't want to be caught out having done a load of work that was essentially unnecessary. So I was doing enough research in order to kind of keep it going, to keep my head in the game, and also to produce the proposal, but that was about it. So the channel. This channel is going to be it's the dissemination of the research, but also the dissemination of the research process. I want to be not only informing you on how the research is unfolding and what it's doing, but also why I'm doing it, how it's unfolding, because the research process isn't smooth and it isn't easy and it isn't continual. That might not be the right word. It isn't something that is smooth or easygoing. There's always changes. There's always elements of issues. There's always pitfalls. There's always things that you stumble into and then you suddenly don't know what to do with it. And that goes all the way from when you start doing the research project at the very beginning, all the way to when you finally submit your manuscript at the end. And so I want to bring you on that journey with me. I want you to see all of those pitfalls and all of those issues as they come up. But I also want you to see all of the joy that it is. I want you to see how amazing research is and how much fun it can be and all of the different things you can uncover and discover and all the complicated mess that it is. So I'm really excited for you to see it, and that's what this channel is going to be. So it's not only how great research is or how bad research is, it's all of that stuff, but it's also what kind of issues pop up and how do I solve those issues. As well as getting you as much involved in the process as I can. You probably have questions that you want answered about the process. Maybe it's things like how I got a book deal. Maybe it's about the research process. Maybe it's how do I go about finding materials? How do I go about accessing materials because I'm not with a university anymore? How do I go about just finding or accessing materials even if I was with a university? You know, for those of you who might be doing your own research projects and not really sure where to start, maybe you want to know where to start and you want to know how I start projects, and so that way you can kind of get an idea, an inspiration for how you start your project. Maybe you want to know about the process of the research. You want to know about what I do with the data once I have the research. Maybe you want to know how I take a conversation with somebody and I turn it into data. Any of that kind of stuff that you want to know, that's what I'm going to be talking about. All of those questions. That's what this whole channel is going to be about. So I hope that is interesting to you because at the very least, it'll keep me accountable. It'll keep me very clear about what I'm doing. It'll keep me transparent about what I'm doing. So that's kind of the main goal of this. So that's the primary element of it. But if there are other things that, you know, you want to know or you want to be involved in, then that would be even better. So if you have any specific questions or issues or things that you want me to talk about, then let me know. Tell me in the comment below what kind of answers that you want, what kind of discussions that you want to hear from. Let me know because I would love to at least try to answer some of them, or definitely answer some of them depending on what those questions might be. So I think that's it for this very first video. This one was more of just to explain a little bit about what's happening and what's going to be happening in the future, how I'm going to be approaching this channel going forward, how I'm approaching talking to you about the research going forward. It is going to be a little bit on my blog, incidentalmythology.com. I sometimes post up little blogs on the things that I'm thinking about. I've done a few already on the cosplay research project, but sometimes things are a lot more difficult to put in a blog. And so that's kind of what this is for, is some of those other things that are a bit more difficult to talk about, or maybe you have specific questions that you want answered, things like that. That's what this is for. So yeah, go subscribe to the channel, do all those YouTube things that people tell you to do. If you have a specific question or you have a specific thing that you want to know about, or even just a comment on the research project and how I'm going to be doing this channel, let me know. Tell me in the comments. I will love to hear from you. And if you want to participate in the research project, I've got a link in the description below as well, so you can go check that out and sign up to interview if you want. Please do not sign up to interview if you are not actually a cosplayer, because that would be really annoying and a bit of a time waste. So for both of us. So, but if you are a cosplayer or you are in the community in some way, maybe you are commissioning, you know, do commissions. Maybe you do commissions of cosplays for cosplayers, and, or you work with leather, or you, I don't know, take photos. If you're a photographer and you take photos of cosplayers, I'd love to hear from you. So not just cosplayers, but anyone who's remotely related to cosplay. Maybe you sell wigs to cosplayers. I don't care. I want to hear from you. If you are even remotely involved, let me know. Sign up for an interview. Comment below whatever it is that you feel comfortable with. Let me know what you do and how you feel about it, and let's talk. Let's talk about it. So I'm hoping on posting these about every other week. So I will see you in 2 weeks. Thank you for watching and everything, and I'll see you soon. Bye!